Hello, everyone. A very, very warm good evening to all of you who have joined in for our State Spotlight series session. And the session this month is called the Advantage Texas session. So you'll be hearing from our experts today. And let me quickly introduce myself. I'm Aliza, and I'm an advisor at Education USA India at the New Delhi office. And today we are being joined by Fiona from the University of Texas at Austin. Then we have Jennifer from Texas Tech University and Joe and Taylor joining us from University of North Texas. So please feel free to make a good use of this session. You will hear a lot about what Texas as a state, the Lone Star State, has to offer to you in terms of education, in terms of research opportunities, and a lot more. And before I hand over the floor to our experts, we will quickly take a look at what Education USA exactly is. So, Education USA is your official source on US higher education. It is supported by the US State Department, and our mandate is to offer accurate, comprehensive, current information on US higher education and to promote lawful entry into the US. We have a global presence of more than 400 plus centers across 175 plus countries. And in India, Education USA is based in New Delhi with an advisor in Mumbai. And just some ways to stay connected with us. So you can scan this QR code that you can see on my screen to receive updates on the sessions and events that we do. So we do a lot of virtual sessions like the one that you're attending today. So there's the Beyond the Brochure series. We also do um, master classes with university professors and other sessions like the alumni series. So you can find out all the information about these upcoming sessions if you scan this QR code, and you can also follow us on social media. So here's the handle that you can see here on my screen. So before I hand it over to our experts for today, this is just the agenda that you can see on the screen. And please feel free to post your questions in the chat box. We will be taking them up towards the end of the session. So whatever questions that you may have, do keep putting them down in the chat, and we'll be happy to share them with the experts. But do keep your questions relevant to the session today. Okay, so now I'll hand it over to our speakers for today. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen, and our first speaker can start sharing the screen. So let me just take you through. Yeah, Fiona, if you can start sharing your screen. Okay, perfect. You're already there.
I'm here, but I couldn't find my mute button. First, I want to say thank you to Education USA for inviting me to be a part of this presentation. And my job today is to tell you about the history of the state of Texas, which we like to say in Texas, everything's bigger in Texas. And so is our history and our identity. And I'm going to walk you through that a little bit. So, Texas has a really rich history that's helped shape its culture, economy, and identity. Long before the European settlers came to what is now the United States, there was a diverse indigenous population who lived across Texas's plains, forests, deserts, and coastal areas. And over the centuries, you may not know, but Texas was governed by several different nations, including Spain and later Mexico. And in 1836, Texas declared independence and became the Republic of Texas, an independent country for nearly 10 years. In 1845, it joined the United States as the 28th state. Throughout the 19th and 20th centuries, Texas grew from largely a rural frontier to one of the world's largest economies. In fact, if Texas were an independent country today, it would be the eighth largest economy in the world. Industries such as agriculture, cattle ranching, oil and gas, aerospace, technology, and healthcare have all played major roles in its development. You may know Texas is the home of cowboys, cattle, country music, rolling pastures, but it's also a really fast growing multicultural state of 31 million people, with 2 to 5 of the US's top 10 cities, depending on who you ask, and the country's longest international border with Mexico. With a population of 31 million people and over 10 million residents who speak languages other than English at home. It's the second largest populous state and by area. And it's a geographic crossroads of Gulf beaches, hill country, high plains, desert, um, a lot to offer. The history of Texas plays into its cultural identity as well. We take pride in saying that Texas was once its own country, and that independent spirit remains an important part of our culture today. We're known for thinking big, and like I mentioned, we say everything's bigger in Texas, and that applies not just to the size of the state, but to the ambitions, ideas, and opportunities, and houses and cars and other things too. Um, our history as an independent republic contributed to a culture that values self-reliance, entrepreneurship, and optimism. And Texans often believe that challenges are opportunities to innovate and that ambitious goals are worth pursuing. At the same time, we're known for our hospitality. The phrase Southern hospitality is very much alive here, and visitors are sometimes surprised by how friendly and welcoming Texans can be. We're an energy powerhouse. We first became famous for oil and natural gas, industries that helped fuel economic growth. However, today, Texas is also a leader in renewable energy, advanced manufacturing, technology, and entrepreneurship. And companies and innovators come to Texas because of our spirit of experimentation and willingness to embrace new ideas. We're also, like I mentioned, an energy and innovation powerhouse. And while the state is famous for that, there's other things that we have going on as well, including science and space exploration. The city of Houston is home to NASA's Johnson Space Center, where astronauts train and mission control supports human spaceflight. Maybe you've heard in the movies the famous phrase, Houston, we have a problem. Texas is home to world-class research universities, some of which are represented here, and medical centers that are advancing discoveries in engineering, healthcare, artificial intelligence, and other fields. We're equally rich in culture. The state's food, music, and traditions reflect influences from around the world and many communities that have shaped the state's history. Texas is famous for barbecue and Tex-Mex cuisine, which reflects the deep Mexican influence that remains central to the state's identity. German immigrants also left their mark on Texas culture, founding communities that continue to celebrate their heritage today. You'll even find Texas towns with familiar names from around the world, like Paris and Odessa. But today, Texas is home to vibrant communities representing hundreds of cultures and languages, including a large and growing Indian and South Asian community. There's so much to explore without leaving the state, from mountains to beaches, rivers and lakes, forests and plains, vibrant and global cities like Dallas and Houston, sports powerhouses like San Antonio, with museums, amusement parks, water parks, and mild climate. There's something to do for everybody and something to enjoy. And it's a place that honors our history while embracing the future, making it a really exciting place to live, study, and launch a career. I would be remiss if I didn't say a few words about Austin, which is where the University of Texas is based. It's the Texas capital and ranked number 3 in big best cities to live in America. As the is known as the live music capital of the world, Austin is known for its eclectic and entrepreneurial spirit that draws international crowds to South by Southwest and Formula One racing. Several big companies have put their headquarters in Austin because it embodies the innovative and entrepreneurial spirit that Texas is known for. Is home to the flagship of the University of Texas system, University of Texas at Austin, and is a global hub for tech, startups, research, and creativity. Austin offers a unique blend of professional opportunity and cultural vibrancy. It's a place where students can engage with cutting edge ideas in the classroom and experience a dynamic city beyond campus. Just to tell you a little bit more about UT Austin, since I'm an alum and work here now, it was founded 140 years ago, started in a single building with 8 professors, 220 students, and 40 acres of land. And now the UT Austin enrolls more than 55,000 students from all 50 US states and over 130 countries. And our alumni network exceeds 600,000 graduates worldwide. UT's consistently ranked around among the world's leading universities and is recognized for excellence in research, innovation, and student success. We're the #1 public university in Texas and the #7 in the country, number 35 in the world, according to Center for World University Rankings, and 56 according to US News and World Report, depending on where you like to get your rankings from. Just a little bit more insight into our international student community. We're proud to be home to more than 6,800 international students representing 134 countries, with India among our largest international student population now. And if you'd like to learn more, I encourage you to visit utexas.edu for the main university website or global.utexas.edu, where you can explore academic programs, admissions information, student life, and resources for international students. We would be delighted to welcome you to the 40 acres. And now a short quiz just to make sure you're following along. If I can get my screen to move there. So, fact or fiction? Texas is mostly desert. If you're saying fiction, you're correct because Texas has a diverse topography. Which Texas city is home to NASA's Mission Control? If you're thinking Houston, you're correct. And true or false, Texas has the 12th largest economy in the world. If you're saying false, you're correct. It would be the 8th largest economy in the world. And with that, I will hand it over to my colleagues. Thank you so much.
All right. I believe we are next, correct? Education USA. So I will go ahead and share my screen.
That's right, Joe. Please go ahead.
Okay, good deal. Okay, I believe everyone can see my screen now. Yes.
Yes, we can.
Okay, wonderful. Real quick, my name is Joe Knight. I'm the Associate Director of International Student Recruitment at the University of North Texas. And I'm joined by Taylor Loza, our Student and Program Coordinator at the University of North Texas. At the very end of the presentation, we'll leave our email. So if you have questions about studying in the US, studying in Texas, questions about the University of North Texas, we see ourselves as advisors first, just like Education USA. They're an incredible resource. So lean on them, contact us. We are here to support you. All right, let's talk about the Texas Advantage. I hope my colleagues appreciate our color palette there. All right. So, real quick, the advantage of Texas, of studying in Texas, there are lots of them. I am a demographic and geography nerd. So, I have some population trends from the top 5 states in the US. Texas is the second most populous state, and I have growth on there from 2010 to 2025. So, as you can see, we are growing much faster than any of the other states. So you may be thinking, well, your birth rate must be much higher. Not really. Our birth rate is slightly higher compared to the national average, but people are moving here. Families are moving here. International students are moving here. Um, so why? Why? I ask this question to students all the time when I'm on the road. Why does someone decide to leave their home country and study abroad? Or why does a family decide to move to a new city or a new state? Or why does a business or organization decide to relocate? You can put your answer in the chat, but it's opportunity, right? So I would make the argument that Texas has more opportunities than if not all of the other states and most of the other states. We have a diverse and growing economy, which we'll look more at. Low unemployment, we have strong salaries and quality education. Our cost of living is generally lower than cities on the East Coast or West Coast. It's not the cheapest place to live in the US, but when you compare the amount of economic activity, the opportunities that are going on here, the cost of living is much more reasonable than what you would find in a state like California or the Northeast, New York, Massachusetts, states like that. Quality of life. So Texas is a center for sports, the arts, entertainment, outdoor recreation in a warm climate. So right now it's hot. We're going through a heat wave. But if you're joining us from India or South Asia, this is a climate that you would be familiar with. Texas is seasonal. The more north you go, the more seasonal it is. So where we are located in North Texas in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, there are seasons. They're not quite as pronounced as what you'd find in the Northeast. And then the further south you go, it becomes more mild. We are a tax-friendly state. So in the United States, there are two types of taxes that individuals and companies pay. One is the federal income tax, and which everyone pays, and then the state income tax. Now, there are 9 states that do not have state income tax, and Texas is one of those. So, for all these reasons, that is why people, families, students, young professionals, older professionals are moving to Texas. All right, as Fiona mentioned, the economy. So the economy of Texas is enormous. Here we have a chart of nominal GDP that stands for gross domestic product. It is a general measure of the size of an economy, whether you're talking about a city, state, or country. So, our economy is larger than those countries listed there. I know Canada is a also a um, um, strong market in terms of attracting international students. The entire economy of Texas is larger than Canada's. Only one other state has a larger economy, and you may have guessed it, that would be California, which is the only other state that has a larger population than Texas. So, just to already reinforce this point, if Texas were a country, it would be the world's 8th largest economy, which is mind-blowing. Texas leads the US in Fortune 500 companies. So we currently have 57. These kind of bounce around between California, Texas, and New York. They switch places sometimes from year to year, but large companies, Fortune 500 companies, have decided to relocate to Texas. But of course, we attract companies of all sizes and shapes, organizations. Um, there is just a lot of activity. So let's look at some of the regions. So there are 4 main metro areas in the state of Texas. I'll briefly talk about. Austin and San Antonio are quickly merging into one big kind of mega region, but for now, I do have them separated as 2 separate metro areas. So Dallas-Fort Worth is considered our logistics hub. It's where the large airport is, DFW Airport is. Um, some of the companies, some of the notable companies that hire our graduates as well as the colleagues on the call are based in Dallas-Fort Worth. There's a lot more activity going on in Dallas-Fort Worth besides logistics, but it is typically serves as our logistics hub for the state of Texas. Houston is our energy hub, and the second most populous state or second most populous region. So many energy companies, but there's a lot more going on in Houston than just energy as well. Our largest medical center is also in Houston, so there's a lot of activity in the biosciences, biotechnology in Houston as well. Austin is our technology hub where Tesla, Dell are headquartered, as well as large campuses from some of the other notable tech companies. But just I'll sound like a broken record. There's a lot more going on in Austin than just technology. And then San Antonio is our healthcare hub. So lots of different medical centers and biomedical research going on in San Antonio. But again, there's a lot more going on in San Antonio than just healthcare. So the economy is very diverse. It's very spread out amongst different metro areas. There's some other areas that I'm not mentioning here where there's a lot going on as well, but those are the four main economic engines of Texas, we'll say. So, why are companies moving to Texas? So, we looked at why people are moving to Texas. Why are companies moving here? Talent. Access to highly skilled graduates from over 200 plus colleges and universities. So, many companies, I should say employers instead of companies. So, we're talking about companies, organizations, of all kinds are moving to Texas so they can be close to the talent and take advantage of the talent. That really is kind of the story of Austin. It used to be a sleepy little college town, and over the years, more and more companies have moved there to take advantage of all the graduates there. The economy. So we've already kind of mentioned a lot about the economy, but we are a leader in AI, healthcare, energy, finance, logistics, and manufacturing. Locations. So Texas is in a very strategic location where we have easy access to the East Coast, the West Coast, the Midwest. We also border Mexico, so we're very well connected with Mexico, US markets, global markets via land, water, air, and rail. Should also mention that as well. And as I've kind of already mentioned, we are a business-friendly state, so there's no state income tax. There's less regulation on businesses of all sizes. Generally, it's easier to start up a small business in Texas. Okay, another cool graph I will show you all if you are considering Texas as your study destination. So this is a graph of the top 10 US states with the lowest average COA. What is COA? COA stands for cost of attendance. Cost of attendance is tuition plus everything else, your housing, your food, health insurance, all that for 1 year. These are annual measures. So these are the top 10 states with the lowest average COA, cost of attendance, among public universities. So we're only talking about public universities. My colleagues on the call, we all represent public universities. So Texas is ranked number 7 in most affordable, we can say. If you look at the states that beat Texas on this list, most of them are much more, they're smaller states, they're rural states, and I have the population and GDP rank on there just so you can kind of get an idea of the size of their economy. Florida is the one big exception. So Florida is another big growing state as well. Whoops. And then further down on the list, Georgia, North Carolina, there's a lot going on there as well. But I just wanted to show you that in case you're considering looking at Texas. We are the return on investment for what you get for studying here is fantastic. All right, with that, I'm going to turn it over to my colleague Taylor, and she's going to talk a little bit about the contributions of Texas.
All right, thank you, Joe. Um, so definitely starting with science, many of the technologies and innovations we use today have strong Texas connections, uh, like the integrated circuit, which has helped make modern computers and smartphones possible. That was developed here in Texas. Houston is also home to the NASA Johnson Space Center, which mission control supported every U.S. human spaceflight since the 1960s. Texas also continues to lead in medical research, from advances in artificial heart technology to cutting edge work in biotech, engineering, and 3D printing. So our science is booming here. For arts and culture, Texas has a lot to give. Texas reflects a unique blend of traditions and cultures here. It is the birthplace of Tejano music, so it's like a combo of Western and Mexican music. It's played a major role in the development of country and Western swing. These genres have influenced musicians around the world. Texas is also known for its Western heritage, like rodeos and the classic Western films, while Mexican American folk art highlights the rich cultural traditions that continue to shape the state's identity. And finally, athletics. It wouldn't be Texas without athletics, for sure. Sports are deeply woven into Texas culture, and nowhere is that more evident than football. So Friday night high school games are legendary in Texas, and college rivalries are unmatched. So this leads to some of the top performing football teams and some of the best games to watch, especially in college. Football brings together families, schools, and entire communities here. And for many Texans, it's more than a game. It's a tradition that reflects pride and teamwork and community spirit. And Texas is also home to iconic venues like the Astrodome, built in 1965. It was the world's first dome stadium. And then we also have the AT&T Stadium that just hosted matches during the 2026 FIFA World Cup and other international events like the Formula One. These stadiums are awesome because they have AC inside, so you stay nice and cool while you're watching these sporting events. Um, but yeah, Texas has a lot to offer and a lot to keep on giving. So thank you.
Great. Thank you, Taylor. Yeah, Joe, were you going to speak?
Oh, no, I was just going to say this is our last slide. So this is our contact info, but we'll also leave it with EducationUSA so you can get a hold of us. And with that, I will stop sharing and hand it over.
Great. Thank you so much, Joe and Taylor. Jennifer, if you'd like to go ahead with sharing your screen.
Absolutely. Ready? Can everyone see my screen?
Yes. You can just, yeah, it's going in the slideshow mode now.
Alrighty. Well, good evening, everyone. My name is Jennifer Wang. I work as International Admission Counselor at Texas Tech University. Now that we heard about the state advantage in these stories, I would like to shift the focus to the academic experience. So I'll be sharing what you can actually expect as a student from the classroom experience and the support available to you. So when we talk about the academic experience, one thing I really like to highlight is studying in the United States goes beyond just going to classes, listening to lectures, or completing your assignments. One of the biggest differences you may notice is that the class tend to be much more interactive. Your professor will encourage you to ask questions, participate in discussions, share your opinions, and work with your classmates. Don't be afraid to speak up. You might be used to the classroom where the professors does most of the talking. But here, your participation is actually part of the learning experience. So it may take a little bit time to get comfortable with that, especially if you're coming from a more lecture-based educational environment. But once you get used to it, it's a great way to build your communication skills, critical thinking, and confidence. Another thing I really encourage students to take advantage is to getting to know their professors. So they're not just someone you see during class. You can go to their office hour, ask questions if you have having trouble with a class, talk about your academic or career goals, or even ask about the research opportunities. You never know where those conversations might lead. But don't worry, you are not expected to know everything from day one. There are professors, there are advisors, there are different academic supports available to you to help you figure things out. So Next slides. Kind of echo to myself. Once you arrive, you are not on your own. There's a whole network of support available to help you succeed. So academically, your academic advisor can help you plan your courses and stay on track, while professors and department can provide additional guidance or like mentorship or research opportunities. If you need extra help, you also have access to, for example, tutoring, writing, math, the library, and other learning resources. And as an international student, you will also have an immigration advisor who can help you understand the immigration requirements, maintaining your F1 status, and answer your question about your I-20 or travel signature or employment base. So beyond academics, there are also like international student life department and also wellness center, student organization to help you adjust. So you will have tons of opportunity to make friends, to feel connected to the campus. And when you think about life after graduation, career service is the best department can help you. They can help you with your resume, interview preparation, internship, and professional opportunities. So really you have a support system around you. So you just have to take advantage of it. Okay, so next one, I would like to talk about learning beyond the classroom. So learning doesn't stop when you leave your classroom. One of the things that we really encourage our students to do is to take what they're learning and apply it to the real world situation. So for example, you can get involved into research opportunities and work with faculties on projects that address real world challenge. You can also participate in hands-on experience and team-based assignment where you're not just learning the theory, but actually figuring out how to apply it. And internship are another great way to gain professional experience while you're still students. They will give you opportunity to explore your field with your resume and to understand what working in your industry is really like. And there are also opportunities to get involved into community project and use what you have learned to contribute outside of the campus. So you will also have a lot of research resources available to support those experiences. So for example, the research labs, the innovation space, library, and technology resources. So there are plenty of ways to explore an interest beyond your regular coursework. Already. So now that we have talked about, generally talk about the academic experience, I would like to take a step back and look at the Texas Tech itself. Let's see what makes Texas Tech a unique university here in Texas. Alrighty, so we are located in a city called Lubbock. So we're in the northwest part of Texas. So we're the hub city in the West Texas. So there are tons of industry and energy industry around us. So we're also a big 4-year public institution as of fall 2026. No, fall 2025. We have over 40,000 students enrolled and more than we have all of the student population from all 50 states and over 100 countries, and more than 78% of our students actually come from further than 300 miles away. And also we have over 3,000 international students here with us. And we are a Tier 1 research institution, so which is a Carnegie classification and the highest research ranking that a university can receive. So simply speaking, those major companies, they're willing to donate money for us to do research for them because they really believe what we're doing here. And also at undergraduate level, we have over 150 programs. And if you're interested in graduate studies, we have over 120 masters and over 60 doctoral programs. Besides, we also have Texas Tech Health Science Center and School of Veterinary Medicine and School of Law. So basically, you name it, we have it. Also, we are ranked number 9 nationally in workforce preparation of graduates. We also have the second largest campus in the nation. So even though we have large student population and large campus, we still maintain the 20-to-1 student to teacher ratio. So that means our faculties, your academic advisor, they're accessible. So if you ever need to make a one-on-one meeting with them, they will make their time for you. Okay, another life as raters. So first, also I would like to highlight if you are a big sport fan, Texas Tech, we are NCAA Division I athletes. So that means our athletic teams are almost professional, and our football team did win the championship last year. And you as a student will have free access to all the on-campus sporting events. And for everyday campus life, there are over 30 dining options, 19 residence halls. And also we have a strong network of resources to support students throughout their journey. So we have career centers, writing centers, learning centers, and the student counseling centers. So when we talk about life as a Red Raider, as our mascot, it's really about having a well-rounded college experience, academics, athletics, friendship, campus involvement, and the resource to help you succeed. Alrighty, so we also have really good scholarship for international students. So depending on your student type, if you just graduate from high school, you will consider as a new first-time student. And our scholarship opportunity range from $1,000 to $9,000. And the qualifications are the qualifying SAT and GPA. And also, if you already started your college life but haven't got your bachelor degree yet, you will be considered as a transfer. We also have 2 scholarships for transfer students. And if you're interested in graduate studies, there are assistantship, fellowship scholarships. And then one thing I like to highlight is if you can get awarded at least $1,000 here at Texas Tech, you will be eligible to pay in-state tuition. And our estimated undergraduate tuition fees for in-state tuition fees is for a whole year is around $12,911, and that is the month before the scholarship amounts kick in. Also, I have 2 QR codes here. So if you are interested in undergraduate studies, we have spring 2027 and fall 2027 application open already. And if you scan this QR code, it will take you to how to apply. And also we have the QR code for graduate school. So just so you know, the deadlines, the application documents are quite different for between undergraduate and graduate students. So definitely, if you're interested, feel free to scan the QR code. It will take you to the right website. All right. Well, thank you so much for listening. So I have listed our graduate school, the contact information for our grad school. And if you're interested in undergraduate study, you can definitely reach out to us at internationals@ttu.edu. And this is pretty much what I want to sharing today. So now let's do Q&A. If you have any questions, feel free to send it to the chat box. We would love to answer them here for you.
Thanks a lot, Jennifer, and thank you for the fantastic presentation, all our speakers. We do have a few questions here, so I'm just going to take them one by one since we do have some time. So we'll start with the first one. So Ishal is asking about creative writing courses available at your university. So this is a general question. So all of you can take turns to answer. Can we start with maybe Fiona? Can we start with you?
Sure. I know that UT Austin has a very strong English department and writing program. We also have the Michener Center for Writing. So there are resources beyond departments as well that make that program really great.
Great. Yes. Joe or Taylor, would you like to answer this question as well?
Yeah, all right. Creative writing. Very cool. I don't get too many inquiries about creative writing, so that's awesome. Yes, UNT, we offer a PhD in English where you can concentrate in creative writing, and we also offer a master's in arts in creative writing. You could major in English, which would focus on English literature, and then you could concentrate in creative writing that way. So yes, there are many pathways to explore creative writing at UNT. Very cool.
Okay, great. Jennifer, how about your university?
We also have a PhD program in creative writing. And so you will get a lot of opportunities to work on your like papers with your professors. And on campus wise, we also like our writing center, because for international students, they can also find on-campus job, but it's like up to 20 hours a week. So I do notice we have, at the writing center, we have a lot of PhD students, in the creative writing, to work there as a tutor. There are lots of like hands-on and research opportunity here.
Perfect. Jennifer, you can take up the next one also because this is specifically for Texas Tech. So the student is asking, does your university have a dormitory?
We
So
do.
at the
I can't believe
undergraduate
I
level.
missed that part. I put it on my slides. Yes, on campus we have 19 residence halls, and we're actually thinking about building another one. So for new first-time students, it is mandatory for you to live on campus because, you know, the first year college experience could be overwhelmed, and we have a large campus, so we don't want you to get lost. So the first year, you will have a lot of access to the on-campus event if you live in a dormitory. So they are first come, first serve. But after first year, because there are also tons of off-campus dormitory available. So after first year, work with our housing department, and you have access to more housing options.
Great. Thanks a lot. Okay, so we have another question related to again the field of humanities and creative arts. So the student is asking again, what kind of courses are offered at all your universities that revolve around English literature, writing, and mass communications or journalism? So if any one of you would like to talk briefly about that.
So I do want to so I'll go first. So about the journalism program, we do have a MassCom, College of Media and Communication department. So they have journalism, and with journalism degree, eventually you will be able to choose different focuses. So because there are so many like concentrations, you could do like sport journalism or actually politics. So there are so many different options, but what I remember is our journalism program does encourage our students to do internship a lot. So they're pretty active in the community. Also, we're for example, NCAA, we're NCAA, so we also have a lot of students are focused on the sports journalism.
Perfect. So I see, okay, Joe has answered one of the questions related to scholarships. So Jennifer and Fiona, if you would like to just, drop in a few resources about some scholarships available at your universities for international students, please feel free to do so in the chat box. So I hope that question got answered. Okay, so the next one is, what are the requirements for each of the universities for undergraduates and graduates from India? So maybe I'll just quickly answer this one. So Manas, the universities, most of US universities have a general set of requirements. So you'll find some common components that you will need to submit for all universities, but they may have a few additional things that they may require specifically. So you need to check the requirements of each of the universities that you're applying to. And what you can also do is that you can check Education USA's playlist for undergraduate and graduate programs. So that will give you a good idea about what to expect when you're applying for undergraduate or graduate programs. Right. So we'll quickly move on now to the next question. Okay. So, so this question is on how is the security of students being taken care of at your campuses when children are enrolled, especially at in undergraduate programs. So, are there any, insights or information that you'd like to give out here?
Yeah, I can go first. Question was about security. Is that correct?
That's correct. Yeah, that's right, Joe.
Okay, yeah. So I think all of us are probably going to have similar answers. UNT, we have our own police force. They are very approachable. In fact, our police force does a special session for international students, just so you understand all of the services they provide. One of the services they provide, I forget that it has a nickname, but if you are on campus late at night and you are walking to your apartment or dormitory and you would like to be accompanied by a police officer, they will do that. You will sign up for alerts. So anytime there is something happens on campus, any type of crime, you will be alerted to that. You will know exactly where it happened. I can tell you from experience, I receive these alerts too. Most of them have to do with a stolen bicycle or stolen scooter. So if you decide to bring one or buy one, make sure you lock it up and keep an eye on it. But our police force is fantastic. They're very familiar working with international students. They want to make sure you feel comfortable and that you can approach them at any time with any questions. They're here to help you and make you feel at home. So I'll pass it on to anyone else who wants to chime in.
Similar setup at UT Austin. We have our own police force that works with the Austin Police Department as well, and similar resources as at UNT with people willing to walk you to your home after studying at night on campus. There are night rides available as two volunteers who will drive you home or in a golf cart or something like that. And we've got emergency call boxes throughout campus too, about 120 of them. So kind of wherever you are on campus, if you are feeling unsafe, you can use one of those call boxes. And the UTPD will come and help you.
Great. Thanks for the answer. Okay. So the next question is on research work, and this is both for Fiona and for Jennifer. So, Fiona, maybe you can go first. So, the question is how much research work goes on at UT Austin and at Texas Tech also. So it's actually for UNT and UT Austin. Okay, so especially in the field of biotechnology or I'm guessing the student is asking about research work in the field of biology in general. So is there any specific requirement that you have at your institutions?
Not an expert on our biology research, but UT Austin is also a tier one research institution, and we have a massive research enterprise of over $1.3 billion in research expenditures each year. I think we offer an incredible opportunity for both undergraduate and graduate students to get hands-on research experience, and that's a priority of UT Austin as well. I would encourage you to look into the biology department to find out more about what research opportunities there are specific to that department. But I know that at UT, it's a big emphasis, especially for undergraduate students who may have more limited opportunities for research at other institutions. At UT, it's a big priority.
Right. Thanks, Fiona. And Joe, would you like to add something here?
Yes, there is a lot of activity going on in our Department of Biological Sciences, particularly in environmental science. There's quite a bit. So again, I would encourage you to, as Fiona mentioned, go to our website, explore. I did put, just because I was looking at it the other day for something else, I did put a link in the chat for our Biodiscovery Institute. Super interesting. I know some of our top researchers who have the most patents, most publications, who have generated the most research funding for UNT, has specifically come from our biological sciences department. So I know. Check out. There's a guy. Oh, I I I was just looking this up the other day, so his name's on the tip of my tongue. His name's Dr. Dixon, though. I'm trying to think of his first name. He is like kind of our all-star researcher. He comes from biology. He's a University of Oxford alum. So check out on our website, explore it. But yes, within biological sciences, there is an enormous amount of research centers, laboratories, research funding, publications, patents. There's a ton of activity actually.
And
Great.
we also have one more
Yeah,
thing too, for the biological sciences, when you're in that field. Also, every single week throughout both semesters, we have guest speakers and seminars held, so you can hear from these professionals in the field and learn about their work and see maybe how maybe it contributes to what you're interested in also. It's very
right.
cool.
Thanks for that, Taylor. Okay, so the next question is okay, it's a tough one and an easy one, a question that we also get very often. So, while admitting international students, what do admissions officers look at other than the academic grades? So, are they looking out for any particular kinds of extracurriculars or other activities? If one of you would like to answer this one.
Yeah, I can go first. It really depends if you're an undergraduate or graduate student. Um, to be fully transparent, if you are an undergraduate student and your GPA is 3.25 or more, you will automatically be admitted. So really, they really won't in our case. However, you will be available to apply for scholarships, and many of those scholarships are going to look for your extracurricular activities. You will have the opportunity to write essays or to submit a resume where you can express everything you've been involved in. So that's important. Now, for graduate admissions, yes, many of the graduate programs, you will need to write an essay, you will need to submit a resume, you will need to submit letters of recommendation. All of these components should speak to you, or should describe you as an individual, everything you've been involved in, any sort of extracurricular activities that will all be extremely helpful, not only in your admission for graduate degrees, but also for scholarships at that level as well.
So here at Texas Tech, because I mainly work with undergraduate students, so we do review all the application in the holistic approach. So that means academic performance is not the only thing that we are reviewing. So anything, just like Joe said, anything that can help us review your application better, do submit them. And we also don't have a minimum GPA requirement. If, let's say, academic-wise, you don't have a very strong profile there, then we want to see your leadership skill, your extracurricular activities, like your volunteer experience, anything that can help us review the application better. And for the graduate level, I believe our graduate school gonna help start this whole process, but eventually will be the professor's academic department. I believe they have a committees to make the call. Basically, to answer your question, academic performance is not the only thing we review when we look at students' application.
Right. Thank you, Jennifer. Yeah. So it's a holistic application process that happens at most US universities. Okay. So we have now one question that's specifically related to undergraduate studies. So the student is asking, are there any specific academic or grade requirements for IB students during their middle year program and diploma program years? So if any one of you would like to take that up.
Full disclosure, I work in recruitment. I'm not an admissions expert, so that is something I would need to check with our admissions team on exactly. Of course, we accept IB. We have many students who come from the IB program, but I would likely need to follow up on your specific question with our admissions team.
All right. Thanks, Joe. So, what you could probably do, Shreya, is that you can probably write to the admissions office, and because it's a very specific question, so write to them directly, and they'll be able to help you out with your query. Okay. The next question is okay. So, it's again coming back to the creative arts field. Are there any short-term courses available for international students with 6 months or 12 months duration in the English literature field or creative writing courses, if you have any short-term programs being offered at any one of your institutions? So, yeah, go ahead, Joe.
I do not believe we do, Eshal, but it's something I would need to probably dig in a little bit further. But off the top of my head, I don't believe we do currently. But I encourage you to dig through our website, and see if there's anything, and I can look for you as well.
Great. Jennifer or Fiona, any programs that come to your minds?
Because we work with international students specific, so immigration is also part of our job. So I'm just wondering, so because we work with F1, like the degree seeking students, so they have to be here full time. So they have to be degree seeking students. So I don't think the short term programs apply to them. But just you could minor in any major that you wanted here. So if you want to get some certain certificates, you can work with your academic advisor to see if those can be counted as credits. But if you just go to TTU, the writing department or college, the language department, they have tons of certificates and short-term programs for current students to get.
Right. Thanks, Jennifer. So we are just around the yeah. So we are almost towards the end of the session. We'll just take up two more questions. So the first one here is what all types of skills should be present in our portfolio, which helps us to get admissions in a university easily. So this student is currently in grade 11th, and they have physics, chemistry, and maths. So yeah, so the student is asking what all are the requirements for applying for a program. Okay, so the question seems a bit incomplete here. Maybe if you could share more details. So Abdul, what I would suggest is you can write to us at Education USA, okay, and just talk about the specific requirements that you're looking at, the program that you would like to apply for, and then maybe we can give you a more specific answer on your query. um, okay, so we'll take this. Okay, yeah, we'll take one last question. So this is a general one, and maybe Fiona can start with this one. So the question is, if someone spent just one semester on your campus, what is one experience, academic or otherwise, that would completely change their perception of studying in Texas?
That's a
So
really hard and big question to answer. I think for all of us, just coming to Texas and being on a campus is going to give you a very different perspective and maybe break immediately a lot of the stereotypes that you have. I would say that some of my favorite things on campus are our museums and libraries. We have over 17 libraries and some amazing museums of history and art. And in addition to the very intensive research and scientific focus that we have on campus, I think our libraries and our museums really are an incredible experience that nobody should miss.
great. Taylor, would you like to add in anything if something comes to your mind?
There's one thing I've noticed on UNT campus is throughout the semesters we host a lot of cultural events. And it's not just like Texas culture, it's American culture. And then we also have hundreds of international student organizations that put on their own events as well. And for me and a lot of conversations I've had with other students, those experiences have been life-changing. And they would learn about cultures they had never heard about. So it's a big one.
Great. Okay, I think, yeah, this is it. So, yeah, before we close the session, I would like to thank all our speakers for today. You've done an amazing session, and we have really good feedback as well for, for having such an insightful and informative session. So, thank you all of you for joining early in the morning. I know it must be early in Texas for all of you. And thank you again, Fiona, Jennifer, Taylor, and Joe for the fantastic presentation. And a big thank you to our audiences as well who joined in today and who really had such good questions for our speakers. So thank you. Please stay connected with Education USA. And goodbye. Have a great day and good evening. Bye-bye.
Bye.